Oh, hi. I'm Jason Pierce. I'm a personal trainer, and today I want to talk to you about sleep. Now, we all know that sleep is important. It's when our body repairs itself, the brain rewires itself, and even just a little less sleep than normal can really affect us. There was a study that came out recently where they had people who had gotten a normal amount of sleep do some cognitive tests, reaction time, memory, and then they had them go home, set their alarms an hour earlier, come back in the next day and do the test again, and they failed spectacularly the second day. The just 1 hour less of sleep severely impacted their reaction time and their memory. So sleep is vital to us. But look, people are busy, we have busy schedules, sometimes work just creeps past work time and into the night, or you've got kids, or in our case, we have dogs that keep us up sometimes in the middle of the night. So sleep is not always easy to get, but it's incredibly important that we do get enough sleep. So for adults, that's about 7 hours of sleep. For younger people, it's more. Some age groups have different needs of sleep, but in general, adults need about 7 hours of sleep. And there's a very small percentage of people that can get away with very little sleep. And you might think you're one of them just because you keep yourself up all the time. You probably aren't. It's a tiny percentage. And you can go get tested to find out if you are one of these people. But in general, we all need a lot of sleep, more sleep than we usually get. Okay, so we need sleep. But life is busy, like I said, and I don't have time for sleep. I need to get stuff done. That's 8 hours or 7 hours that I could be being productive. If you keep yourself up over time, the impact on your body is fairly severe. I mean, you're stressing out your heart because it's not getting a chance to rest. You're stressing out your organs because they're not getting a chance to rest. You're stressing out your brain because it's not getting a chance to rest. It can lead to heart problems, cancers. All this is documented and preventable. You just need to get more sleep. So how do we do that? Like how can we get more sleep if our lives are so busy? The first thing is prioritize sleep. Just say you're going to do it. Get that in your head that you're going to do this, and then do your best to do it. So instead of doing those emails at night, say, you know what, I'm just going to find time during the day. Or maybe they're not that important and I don't have to worry about it so much. I'm going to get sleep. When you sleep, everything becomes easier anyway. You will find more time during the day because your brain is working better. So just prioritize that you're going to get more sleep. Working out is a great way to sleep better. When we get a good workout in during the day, it just tires us out and it makes it easier to go to sleep. Don't work out too close to bedtime because that also fires your system up for a little bit. You need time to kind of come down from the workout. Another thing that's very helpful is sticking to the same schedule. So get up at the same time and go to sleep at the same time. Your body will kind of get used to whatever schedule you set for yourself, and it will start getting you to sleep earlier if that's what you do, or if you have to get up earlier, it gets used to it. So you might feel a little off for a couple of days, but your body will settle into the routine. And whatever that routine happens to be, just set a routine that this is what I'm going to do. Breathing exercises and meditation can help because they calm the system down. Eating too close to when you go to sleep can be a problem because your body has to then process the food instead of doing what it normally does during sleep. A good idea, usually at least 2 hours of gap between eating and sleeping to let your body do some of the digesting before you go to sleep. Drinking alcohol too close to when you go to sleep can also affect sleep for various reasons. Try to keep the alcohol a couple hours away from when you try to go to sleep. Obviously, caffeine can affect how you sleep. Most studies show about 4 to 6 hours is how long the caffeine's in your system. Some people can do caffeine and it doesn't even affect them. So it's just sort of, that's something that you just have to figure out on your own. I can usually have a cup of coffee about 4, and I'm fine for sleeping after that. So I talked about exercise and I talked about eating. Now, what if you exercise late at night? What if you've got, you're in a tennis league and your game doesn't end until 8 or 9, or, you've got a reason for working out late and you need to get some food in your system, but you also need to go to sleep. And what do? Because you don't want to necessarily be digesting food. Something that can be helpful is to just get some protein powder and put it in water and drink it. Generally, protein powder has very few calories. It's just the protein. And if you do it with water, there's just not a lot of calories for your body to process. Then the protein can just be turned into muscle while you sleep. Not ideal that there's something in your stomach, but that is better than eating an actual meal. I know for me it works. I can make it through the night without waking up in the middle of the night starving and needing to eat because I didn't eat something. So if I get some protein powder in my system, I'm usually good to make it through the night. One of the biggest causes of insomnia, sleep problems, is stress. We're worried about our jobs, our kids, life, just politics, anything that can just sort of get the brain spinning makes it very difficult to fall asleep. When your brain is going, you can't sleep. You need to get the brain to calm down, and then you can usually sleep better. Some people watch TV to do that. I find that doesn't work for me. TV is a very passive activity, so you're receiving the information, but you're not really processing it actively with your brain. So your brain can then keep spinning about the other things you want to do while the TV is on. I find that playing crossword puzzles or reading works really well. For me, I find that if my brain is doing something active but not important, I can fall asleep easier. So like a crossword puzzle, incredibly active because I'm like trying to figure out what the capital of Albania is, but not particularly important because that doesn't impact my daily life. So as I do a crossword puzzle, I just sort of stop thinking about what's going on in the day, what I'm going to do tomorrow, until I'm so tired that I just can't keep my eyes open, and then I fall asleep. So I find that kind of activity works really well for me. I learned that when I suffered from terrible insomnia about 15 years ago, and someone suggested I tried crossword puzzles for that reason, and it worked. And so I've been doing them ever since. To the point where now if I do a crossword puzzle in the middle of the day, I start getting sleepy. So my body's kind of trained that crossword puzzles mean sleep. So again, sleep is very important. We need it. We should prioritize it. And hopefully some of these tips can help you get better sleep. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe and maybe leave a comment. That really helps the channel out a lot. And as usual, stay healthy.